All right, what's going on, Rod?
What's happening? What's happening?
Chilling, man. Chilling, man. It's been a good day, man. Good weekend, Super Bowl weekend, and man, All Star games coming up in the NBA and then trade deadline, man. So we gotta talk Lakers.
Let's talk it. Let's talk it.
Yep. Well, today's February the 13th, 2023. Welcome to the Laker Locker Room. He's Rod. I'm Mr. 411. We talk Lakers, and and all in between there. So Uh, everybody buckle up and get ready because it's time for the Laker Locker Room.
Let's get it.
All right, Laker Locker Room it is. We thank everybody. Please hit that subscribe button, like, share, do all those things. Help keep the show alive. Uh, Rod brings all kind of fire, man. Some great information for you Laker fans out there and for you NBA fans out there. So
Oh
we
yeah.
cover the NBA as well on other shows, but this is tailored to the Lakers.
Laker
Laker
locker
Locker
room.
Room.
That's it.
Yes,
That's it.
indeed.
I
All
like it.
right. Yes, it is. All right. So let's kick things off, man. Hey, look, it's Super Bowl weekend, so we're not here for NFL, but we're gonna at least acknowledge the Super Bowl and congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs at the disbelief of my dad because he's an Eagles fan. He's from Philadelphia, but the Chiefs defeated the Philadelphia Eagles 35-38. Patrick Mahomes, man, did his thing. Even with that ankle injury, he delivered another championship there for Kansas City. So there you have it. He's got the belt and everything, doing this thing. Patrick Mahomes, got to give him credit for this performance. He just did a great job under the circumstances, and also Jalen Hurts had a great game as well. Any quick thoughts on that Super Bowl?
Nope. I want to get into basketball. It's over with.
It's a wrap.
It's over with.
All right,
But and, and
all
I
right,
and I like Mahomes. I like Mahomes.
yeah.
Congratulations. But anyway, let's go. On, let's go. Get now. Let's talk about my guy to go, which is Kareem. He,
All
he
right.
had a milestone moment where LeBron passed him. So
Yeah.
congrats. So let's congratulate LeBron on doing what many thought was impossible. He achieved that goal, and that's something to really be commended. And really give him kudos for doing that. Now, with all that being said, it brings on some other stuff. Um, we lost that game, and we were in the playoff hunt. Well, I'm gonna say playoff hunt, but we're fighting for our lives to get into the play-in. We're
Mm-hmm.
currently a 13th seed, and you know, with all of this going on, with the team, and we're trying to get to the playoffs. Um, yes, we're excited. LeBron broke the record, but Lakers want to win. Laker fans want to win. And it kind of seemed like, I don't know, you tell me if you see something different. It kind of seemed like once he broke the record, he kind of didn't care about playing anymore. He's like, okay, I broke the record. That's it, whatever. He took two more shots, hit one of them, stop cutting, stop running the floor, everything. Now we're hearing about this foot injury, and they say his foot been bothering him all season. First, we're hearing of it. Didn't seem like it bothered him when he was gunning for the scoring title, but you know, uh, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. The foot injury. It's rumored that he's struggling with a foot injury, and that despite it being a clean scan, so it's a clean scan. So according to the medical reports, uh, should there really be something really wrong with his foot to that degree? I think it's more so that it was about him. At that point, just breaking the record, doing whatever you gotta do to break that record, and then at that point, it's time now to do the what they call the old load management thing. And and I think that's not going to be taken well by a lot of people. And so that's pretty much where I'm at with that. And it comes at a rough time too, because believe it or not, the All-Star weekend is not at the midpoint of a season. It is like with 27, 26, sometimes even 25 games remaining
We ain't got much.
in the season. So it's not as much time as people may think. Well, when you get to this All-Star break and when you come back, it's pretty much, do or die for everybody. And every win
Absolutely.
is vital. So
Crucial.
at this point, so at this point, LeBron needs to be on the floor, every night.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that was a very winnable game. It was a very winnable game, and it was unfortunate he didn't come through and win. But the thing about it is, somebody that caught a lot of heat. He seemed like he was the only person in the arena that thought it was an actual game going on. That was Anthony Davis. And he's caught a lot of flack for not standing up and cheering. And he's given the explanation. Darvin Ham is giving the explanation, Lakers coach, about, hey, he was more upset that they broke away from the style that they normally play. They got away from the game plan. They were force feeding LeBron, and through the actions of force feeding LeBron, there was a lot of turnovers, a lot of lackluster plays that ultimately led to that loss. And so and them being down, and so AD wasn't happy with that, and so he kind of showed his frustration. But people took that as him hating on LeBron and he's jealous and all this stuff here. I didn't see it that way. I saw it as a guy that knew, hey, we got to get to the playoffs and we need to win this game. What's your feedback on that?
Well, man, I'm going to answer that. First, I'll give a shout out to Michael Coleman. Shout out Michael Coleman. He has a couple comments out here. He says people are tired of LeBrick, and he is checked out on the Lakers. So, Michael, you're here with us. We appreciate you joining in. Definitely hit that subscribe button and share it, and get all your people in there, and get some more people here in the locker room. And but to answer your question, Rod, I do think Anthony Davis, which I have to commend him on, which I wasn't 100% on him about, but it looks like he does care about winning. I know, injury history is a thing for him, but at least he shows something here to me that he cares about winning basketball. LeBron can organically get that record before the season ends. It felt like it was more forced for that night. And maybe it's a good thing that it's over with, but that's where I'm at with it with Anthony Davis. And by the way, we need to go ahead and illustrate that. So for those who did not happen to see it, here's a quick clip of Anthony Davis and why there's so much talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, fine, it's over with, good. I don't think it's necessarily, any animosity towards LeBron, but then again, it could be. Who knows? Because I mean, Anthony Davis' name's been popping up in trade rumors, and so we all know that a trade of that magnitude would not be floated around without LeBron knowing at minimum. Not saying he's pushing for it, but he would know at minimum. So, so just we don't know what's going on in the locker room from that standpoint. But the fact is, though, we needed that game. It was against the OKC Thunder. Winnable game. We blew the game. Then you follow up the next day and you don't play, and then we lose to the Bucks. And then maybe brighter days are ahead, because after that we had a trade. Let's get into the trade.
And there it is. All right. So, we're going to grade the Lakers and trade deadline scenario, situation. Man, Rob Pelinka, he's doing his thing. I think he doesn't get the full credit that he deserves. Because, the Kobe Bryant thing, like a lot of people thought, well, maybe he got this because Kobe. But Pelinka is doing a good job, man, with the Lakers, with the cards that he's dealt with. And we have some players coming over. Vanderbilt, D'Angelo Russell, Mo Bamba, And that's just to name a few. You got Beasley, and I know
Beasley.
Roger going to go in a little more detail with it. So I'll pass it back to you and get your thoughts. And Michael Coleman, also post your thoughts on the Laker acquisitions. But go ahead, Roger.
But yeah, man, I think when it comes down to it, I think we won the trade deadline. I'm saying that cautiously because I know that big names moved. I know Kyrie moved, Kevin Durant moved, and we're gonna see how all that works out. But when you look at what they gave up to get their guys versus what we gave up, you're talking about we gave up Westbrook, a guy that didn't really fit, a guy that for the most part the organization didn't want, and a draft pick, and you get back D'Angelo Russell, who basically gives you Westbrook production without the turnovers. Then you get Vanderbilt, who's, you know, basically, you know, I would say Bobby Porter's with a even higher more motor and
Mm-hmm.
defensive prowess. Then, you know, let's even back it up and talk about Hachimura. You know, a couple of weeks ago,
Yeah.
I thought he crushed it on that to get, you know, a player of that caliber. So you bring him in, and then to flip Patrick Beverly for Mo Bamba. Then we got Michael Beasley, a knockdown shooter. We got all of that with basically Westbrook, Thomas Bryant, and a draft pick. I think that's pretty damn good, especially considering the fact, like, even though LeBron's sitting out, I'm confident that we can still be competitive and win games, even with him sitting out, resting his foot or whatever. You know, D'Angelo Russell is a guy that we drafted in the first place. He's already, you know, well, I consider he's already a Laker because, you know, once you drafted by a Laker, you always a Laker. But, you know, he came in, you know, a little immature. But I think this second time around, he's going to be very successful. I love what I saw the other night against Golden State. And I'm just really excited. I think we're going to make this push and get into the playoffs. And if we get into this playoffs, if LeBron recognizes what he has and comes to play, we can be a force to be reckoned with. And so, you know, I give Rob Pelinka, hey, you're talking about he cleaned LeBron's mess in one foul swoop because LeBron pushed for Westbrook. We said, fine, we're gonna give you what you want. We're gonna pacify you and give you this guy we know doesn't fit. And it didn't work. The experiment didn't work, and Rob Pelinka fixed it all without really jeopardizing our future. And the best part, the sweetest part about this is this team is actually built for post LeBron. So if LeBron wakes up and say, you know what, I want to be traded, Bronny get drafted into the league, I want to go play with Bronny, and or whatever the case may be, we are built to sustain him leaving because we've gotten so young with these moves. You talking about you got some of these guys that haven't even been reached. Like Mo Bamba and Vanderbilt, these guys are just scratching the surface. They are babies. So I love what we did over the deadline.
Yeah, I like the potential with the players that were brought in, and then also the known quantity with D'Angelo Russell. You know, my only concern is that, and I think Coleman kind of brought that up just a minute ago about the scapegoat part of it. But I get where he's going with that. Is that a lot of players, especially ones that know how to handle the ball, and Russell, in his years with the Lakers, and even with in other places that he's played like Brooklyn in Minnesota. He likes to handle the ball, which he can. And the question is, whenever you are a ball handler type guard, how is that going to mesh with LeBron, who handles the ball a ton? You know what I'm saying? So if that is not is going to be on LeBron to make sure that these players are allowed to kind of be themselves, so that it can work. You know what I mean? We
Well,
don't.
I think
And that's a concern I had with Westbrook. You know what I'm saying?
well, yeah, the downfall of Westbrook was Westbrook's lack of shooting. D'Angelo Russell can shoot. He's pretty good off the ball. He's comfortable playing off the ball. Um, and I think that LeBron, when he goes to the bench, D'Angelo Russell will have the ball in his hands. If you watch the game against Golden State, D'Angelo Russell did a lot of off the ball anyway, because he actually played a 2-guard lineup where Schroeder was the point guard, and Schroeder handled the ball a lot. D'Angelo Russell was off the ball. So D'Angelo Russell's comfortable playing off the ball. So I'm not really concerned with that. I think this is the fit that we could have had in the first place. I mean, like, Rob Pelinka was talking about Buddy Hield. Rob Pelinka was talking about DeMar DeRozan. Well, LeBron and, apparently AD, they pushed for Westbrook. So, and now we are where we are. But I think we can dig ourselves out this hole with the moves that he made. I mean, and plus, these guys enhance the young players we already had. I mean, because I think, now Troy Brown and Lonnie Walker, it's not so much pressure on them to where, hey, if I'm not knocking down threes, then I'm a bum. Now you got other guys that can knock down some shots. Lonnie Walker gets to go back into more of that slasher type game where he's not just a spot up shooter, because Lonnie Walker is a pretty damn good slasher. When you're talking about going, cutting to the basket and finishing at the rim. So I think that opens him up. Plus, once he gets a little rhythm, he can knock down a three. So it helps Austin Reaves. So I think once you put all those young guys together, and all of a sudden, like overnight, we went from being an old team to a fairly young team. In spite of having one of the older players in the league.
Yeah, I mean, good additions. I mean, the moves are actually fine. Mo Bamba, I like that move because he actually, is going to fit into a role. He's not an offensive type of center, so that doesn't affect Anthony Davis if you talk about front court touches and things like that. The energy that he will bring, and also the flexibility, and really allowing Anthony Davis to play the four, the power forward position, which is what he wants to play anyway. If he steps out and shoots, then you have Mo Bamba that can help clean some things up. And so that was another excellent pick. I know some other Laker fans out there, that I interact with, and Mo Bamba name came up several times as a player that they wanted to see in a Laker uniform. So Pelinka actually got that done. I like that move as well. And again, the other pieces, they're good pieces that fit on a team that's trying to that's a playoff team. And so with that said, I like that. To me, ultimately, this will now there's still no excuses. You know what I'm saying? This falls under Anthony Davis, LeBron James, right? They gotta lead this team. And again, that's what I'm waiting to see now. As far as the pieces go, there's no complaints there. And because remember, once we get deeper and deeper into the playoffs, we're going to be playing teams that are going to have to make you, they're going to make you execute, make you play, make you be a team, play as a unit. And so that's what we're going to really see if our star players can make that happen for the squad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and like I've even, me, I think I'm forward thinking. I'm like, if we were to get into a playoff scenario, because honestly, I'll be quite honest. I think if this team stays healthy and comes together and play the right way, I think the West is wide open. I think Denver's still number one in terms of record, but I ain't scared of Denver. I'm not scared of Denver at all. Of course, with the KD addition, that's a problem. But when I break down the matchups, I'm like, okay, LeBron, can you D up and then with Hachimura and maybe a little bit of Anthony Davis, can we collectively contain Kevin Durant? I know you ain't gonna stop him, but can you contain him? Okay. Then we look at the length we got in Troy Brown and Lonnie Walker and Malik Beasley and Vanderbilt. Hey, can we give Book some problems defensively? Yeah, I think we can. D'Angelo Russell, can you outplay the old veteran in Chris Paul? Yeah, you could. Can AD offensively outplay DeAndre Ayton? Yeah, he should. LeBron, can you at least give me 25 to 28 a game and kind of offset Kevin Durant? Yeah, I think you can. So it's going to be the Phoenix Suns are in the same boat we in. They got a big new piece. We got a lot of little pieces. And it's going to come down to who's going to implement their guys faster. And I think it's going to be interesting. But first thing first, we got to get to the playoffs. But I think if we get to the
Right.
playoffs, I don't see no reason why we can't beat anybody out there.
Well, here's the thing, Rod. The Western Conference, right, is pretty loaded. I mean, Kyrie Irving in Dallas, they're gonna score even more points now. That doesn't make them a better defensive team, but you don't want to, in any given night, want to be in a series where you have Kyrie and Luca. That's a lot of firepower, along with Tim Hardaway Jr. now no longer having to be like a a true second option or whatever for a team. That's going to be tough. They got some size. If they keep Christian Wood, they'll still have McGee. They have a nice unit now. They've actually improved. The Nuggets, they have an MVP candidate again. They have a winning record. They actually picked up one of our players, right? They picked up our power forward Thomas Bryant, who actually was playing very well.
He was,
and so now he's going to slide into a role over in Denver where that's going to help them out a lot, along with Aaron Gordon still being there. So the weakness of the Joker, as far as him being a defender in the paint area and all that, bringing in the Thomas Bryant kind of helps that. And so they're going to be formidable. The Grizzlies are good. I mean, we can just go through the list, right?
The West is tough.
Right.
I mean, I'm not disrespecting the opponent.
I get you.
I'm just saying when it comes down to it, you're talking about when healthy. Anthony Davis is a top 5 player. When healthy.
There's no question about that.
LeBron James, even at this age,
he's top 10 at least.
At least top 10 player. So
at the least.
So when you put that together with D'Angelo Russell, and I ain't even talked about Schroeder. You talking about Hachimura. You talking about we got a deep. All of a sudden we have a deep team.
Well, again, Rod, out of all these teams in the West, I mean, there's going to be a tough 1 through 8, right? I'll even say the 9 and 10s, but definitely the 1 through 8 is going to be tough.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can kind of mix and match a lot of them. And when you're trying to see what's going to happen, I mean, all of them have a question mark. The Suns, how are they going to mesh? Are they going to play defense? What if a player gets injured? Because you do have injury factors with Durant and Paul. So that might open the door for you. Then you can go through a lot of other teams and just kind of find out some things here and there. The Nuggets haven't quite proved yet how far they can go in the postseason. And the Grizzlies,
Clippers.
The
Clippers.
The health of the Clippers, right? So they all can be there. So we all in the same boat. Well, they are all in the same boat right now because I'm saying they because they are actually in.
They're actually in.
And that's what we got to see what the Lakers are going to do.
Yeah.
Are you going to get in?
And I think I smell a run coming. I think this team, like I say, and this is just based on what I saw. The fact that Anthony Davis did not have a good game against the Warriors and we still won. Now I know Curry didn't play, but hey, LeBron didn't play, so I called it a wash. So when you look at the fact that AD didn't play well, but he still affected the game defensively. You had all these other guys step up. It was a full-on collective effort, and I'm like, and let's just be honest. Westbrook is turnover prone. LeBron turns the ball over a lot, so you can't have both of them turn the ball over. And so by getting rid of Westbrook, games like what we saw against Golden State, or think about all the games that we lost that were close, and we like a turnover or two go the other way, we win those games. So the fact that we got a guy like D'Angelo Russell who takes better care of the ball, the fact that we have better shooting, now those games that nip and tuck, we're gonna end up winning those games. And I suspect a run coming. I'm bullish on this team. I love what Rob Pelinka did. And like I say, I'm gonna reserve my opinion as far as who won the trade deadline, but I'm leaning toward the Lakers. I really like what we did.
Okay. I do like what the Lakers did. But I will say I feel like, whenever you can add a Kevin Durant to your team,
Awesome.
especially when you have a Chris Paul that's still capable of operating your team. He's just not the one that you want to have as your
Oh
your
yeah.
best player at this point. I think that was a huge get for the Suns if they can find a couple of. So that's the other part about this too. It's not quite over yet because you still got to pick up some players that are floating around, and if they can find the key players, I think they may be okay. But no, but for what the Lakers have done, right, and what Pelinka is done for this team, you got to give a high grade for that. So I give it a B plus with all the moves. And again, when you have Anthony Davis
I
and
give it a
LeBron
I give
James,
it an A minus.
well, I think we're pretty good there then. But whenever you have a LeBron James and an Anthony Davis on the same team, I believe that the team has had plenty of talent, you know, throughout this tenure anyway. And so with this collection of players right now, it still applies to me because you have to tell me what other team has two players of that caliber on the same roster. And when you start there, the Lakers should be right in the mix with everybody. So it's really about what the team is going to do and what our key players are going to do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, as far as leading the way. And here's the standings right here, Rod. And this is really the issue. Looking at the standings right now, you got the top eight, and then you have the 9 and 10, and then we're looking at the Lakers, and the only two teams below the Lakers are the two teams that are tanking,
Right.
and that's the concern right now. And you every time you lose a game, that's one less that you can make up with roughly 25 games to go in the season.
Yeah.
So it's time to kick it in gear, and that's why I'm glad you brought up the point about the LeBron and his foot. There's really no time now. It's like it's go time,
It's go
and
time.
it's go time because you got other teams that's
And
going to be trying to win too.
yeah, and step one, we play the Blazers tonight. We beat the Blazers. That we won't move up a notch, but that's a loss on them. And like I say, basically what we got to do. I don't know exactly how many games we got, but let's just
Mhm.
say let's just say we got 26 games left. If we got
Yeah,
26 games left, we probably got to go. We got to win probably about 18 of those 26 games.
yeah, that's about right. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
um,
got to.
and I think it's doable. I think it's
It is.
I think with the roster moves, it's doable. And when I say the 18, that's to get you above the play in. I think we can probably go maybe 16 games and make the play in. So,
Well,
um,
let's talk about that, Rod. Well, what currently there? I mean, we can lead this right up because it's right in between. So, based on the teams that are not in the top eight, okay.
mhm.
Because I really see that. I really see it hard for any of those teams in that top eight to fall out.
Um,
It would definitely take a lot for that to happen. So,
Well, this nagging injury with Zion,
mhm,
the Pelicans are vulnerable. Okay, because they've been dropping a lot of games with him being out of that lineup, and then with Ingram taking a while to reclaim his rhythm. They've been
mhm,
really struggling, and they've been in a free fall. If you recall, the Pelicans were number one for a good stretch of the
yeah,
season. They've fallen all the
yeah.
way back to number seven. So
And I know
they
you're
could.
pretty high on them too.
I was, and I
Yeah.
still am if Zion's there. But without Zion, and Bi suffering his injuries, they've been
Mhm.
in free fall. So you talking about
Okay.
boom, they could fall out. And then I'm looking at 10 because really the play in it goes to 10. So
Right.
the Thunder they can definitely be had. Um,
Okay.
I think Golden State's probably gonna go up if Curry comes back in time. Um, and the T Wolves a coin flip to me because I think they could be had. I think the T Wolves could fall back, but if I had to pick the team that's most likely to fall out of that the top 10 up there, I would say
Yeah.
the I would rank them like this. Number one, the Thunder. I think they're going to fall out definitely if we move up. I think the Pelicans are my number two. The T-Wolves are my three. Those are in order
Mm-hmm.
of the guys I think that are vulnerable. But if you look at the games that separate us, you're talking about to catch the Pelicans, we're 3 games back.
Right.
So I think that's perfectly doable. And like I say, if we get in the play in, and get into the playoffs, that will put us. Let's just say we get the 8th seed or the 7th seed, either one of them. The Nuggets don't want to see us. The Nuggets don't want to see us first round. You best believe, especially if we make it to the 8th to that 8th spot, and because at that point we rolling, we hot. They don't want to see us first round. Grizzlies been having some ups and downs. Grizzlies don't want to see us first round. They don't want to see us. So I mean, and Lord forbid, we get up to the 6th seed, the Kings don't want to see us. So I don't think nobody want to see the Lakers first round.
No, I mean it'll be a tough matchup for anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless. I mean, again, when you start your team with LeBron James, who many people, many of the experts out there, believe he is playing at the optimal level. He's at a high level. Sometimes you hear MVP come out from time to time. I mean, he's still putting up points. He's still getting what he wants out there on the floor. And then you add Anthony Davis to that. I mean, there's again not too many teams have a combination like that. And so if on the court, the Lakers should be a formidable opponent on a nightly basis. Right now, for me, again, I feel like right now, good point with the Pelicans. That's probably a team that can slide down. Uh, Maybe Utah as well. Just depends with the Jazz. So there's a couple
Yeah,
of openers.
I didn't even consider the Jazz, because the Jazz, they're 11th, so they're already out of it.
Right.
The Trailblazers, they're 12th, they're already out of it. So really, we're looking at the Thunder. The Thunder, and that's why that game was so important the other day that we just blew. Because LeBron broke the record, was so crucial, because now they own a tiebreaker. So if it does come down to we neck and neck, and we both sit at the same record, so now we gotta outplay them and really legitimately have a wholehearted better record than them to make sure that we at least get that 10th spot. But
they won that game with LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
playing.
But that was the last game of Westbrook too.
Yeah.
So, but I will say this though. If we don't make the play-in, it will be devastating, and it will be a huge stain on LeBron's legacy, because I think, once again, this team, the moves Rob Pelinka made, it's no excuse. You got shooting, you got defense, you got athleticism, you got youth, you got quickness, you got length. I mean, every box is checked.
Yeah, definitely. And they also, like you stated earlier, they proved it, beating the Warriors team without their star, but again, one without one of our stars. So, there you have it. I was trying to add up the number of games that's remaining.
And that's a team that's seasoned chemistry wise. Chemistry wise, Warriors are one of the best teams when you talk about chemistry. So so you talking about a guys came on the floor. We basically slapped together. We had no practice, and we beat a team that's been playing together for over 8-9 years. So it's just probably more. So like
Right.
Is no that was an impressive win to me.
Yeah.
So
it's about 25 games left right now, Rod.
Okay.
About around 25. Yeah, 25 games if my math adds up there. Plenty of them are against the West. And you got a couple games in there with the Bulls back to back, and the Rockets are in there. So there's a couple opportunities here for the Lakers. But with 25 to go, it is crucial. So we're going to keep track of that down the stretch, and we'll see where the Lakers land.
18 wins. That's the magic number. 18 or better.
Yeah, man. All right. Any closing remarks?
Nah, man. Let's just do it. It's just I have nothing else to say. I mean, I think we've said it all. LeBron, rest up and get your feet right, because it's time to put on your track shoes, baby. We gotta run to the finish line.
All right. we're gonna see, man. We'll get back together again and chop it up some more and see where we're looking. Especially once some more of these players that have been released and they're kind of just floating around, or the ones that's getting bought out. Because you have in Ibaka, you have a lot of players out there that are being bought out right now. See where they land. We got, hey man, we need to see where Westbrook lands too. So this story's not over yet. You know what I mean? So let's see
I'm hearing
what's going
Clippers.
on.
I'm hearing Clippers.
Yeah, yep. There's a lot of talk about that. Paul George has been open about that, about Westbrook coming there, and that would give Westbrook some motivation, to be
Yeah.
in the other locker room in the same arena and try to get some get back. But we'll have to see if that's where he ends up. They did move John Wall, so that actually is the sign, a sign if you're a Clipper guy, that's a fan. That's a good sign for them. But we'll see where everybody lands and then finalize this thing out. But right now, it looks like the Lakers are set, and this is going to be the team right here down the stretch.
All right.
All right, big shout out to LeBron. Congratulations on passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Give you flowers on that. And but the cap is still cap, and he's definitely if you had to put him in the GOAT race, I think Kareem is still right there, 1 and 2, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely 1 and 2. And when I say 1 and 2, that's including Michael Jordan. And so, but with that said, that's just my opinion on that.
That's my
But
opinion.
great.
We definitely agree on that. And honestly, I think LeBron has to win another title to crack the top 5. I don't have him top 5. He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to. I need another win. I'm one of them old school guys that still respects winning. So, if you haven't, if you haven't won more than you lost in the finals, you can't be up there with them guys talking about GOAT status. And I think you need at least 5 titles to crack the top 5. So,
Well, I mean, that's some good criteria there, because we're going to have a round table, and on that round table, we're definitely going to discuss who's the top player all time, and we'll probably do a top 5. So, Rod, I know you need to be on that panel. We'll get Holloway, Racy on that panel, and we'll get some old and new school on there, so we can get a good flavor, good mix. Before we go, Michael Coleman, shout out to him. What you think about his comment right here? Is this going to be crucial down the stretch?
You're just not going to win anything. Your star player has checked out and plays no D. I mean, that's a valid point, but I think, this wishful thinking. Maybe the checkout was, hey, he wanted Westbrook gone. Well, Westbrook's gone. It's no more excuse. Maybe he pouts about, not getting Kyrie Irving. Who knows? But in my opinion, I think we dodged a bullet with Kyrie. I think we got the right guy. I think D'Angelo Russell is the right guy for that locker room. We don't need any more drama. We don't need any more powder kegs. And I think D'Angelo Russell has something to prove, and he didn't want to leave the Lakers, and I think he wants to make amends and come on back home. And the additional throw-ins, like I say, as good as D'Angelo Russell is, he might not be the best player we picked up when we look back 2-3 years from now. I mean, because Obamba and Vanderbilt, those two guys, they just scratched the surface. And Vanderbilt, he made so many winning plays to the point where it's just like, dude, this guy here,
he can't hurt the team, man. I mean, he cannot hurt the team.
He can't hurt the team. He just, he's just all motor, all energy. I mean, and when you pair him with Anthony Davis and with him flying around, he's a shot blocker. He can switch and play multiple positions. Him and AD, they're going to be a terror defensively. So, and then when you then when you throw Mo Bamba into the mix with his shot blocking ability, the rim is protected. So,
we're definitely looking forward to it to see how this all pan out. Yeah. And there's nothing left now but to just get it done on the court. That's it now.
All right,
then. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in. He's Rod. I'm 411. Laker Locker Room. We'll be back. Check it out soon. Later.